say what? Look. I'm on tour right now.
It's the New OGs. New OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your home, and do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. No cost out of your pocket, you can get solar for your home. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. That's crazy. They can save you money, cost you nothing out of pocket. Solar Masters is a SunPower dealer that's an American panel maker with over 30 years of experience, and Sun Life even has a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation. Order for someone that you know. We are also brought to you by... Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta wait. I just want to make sure I understand this right. You said a lot of words.
The sunglasses are... I know. The sunglasses are on, so I know you've got a valiant point to add here.
I want to know.
Yes, sir.
People, they get the solar panels. Absolutely no out-of-pocket cost.
No out-of-pocket costs.
They save money on the electricity that they're going to use anyway in their house.
Save money they're going to use on electricity anyway, and it's the only black-owned solar company in Illinois. How about that?
And it's black-owned with American-made panels.
American-made panels, black-owned company.
And if they got a friend that owns a house, they can make $500.
They can make $500 off the front. That's the whole thing. Yep.
Man, that is better than a blowjob from a midget. They ain't got to bend over. They can just stand up and do it.
Is it, though?
They can just
How much experience do you have with this information to be offered?
I'm just guessing. I dated a girl who was 4'11".
You're 6'7". How are they not all?
She used to say, "I'm 2 inches from being handicapped," and I was like, "Shut up." You know.
I don't know. I don't. When you're 6'7", they're pretty much all way shorter than you are anyway, for the most part.
Yeah. But like really small girls have a thing for me. I'm like a fetish to them, I think.
Yeah, and probably a little vice versa.
If you're women who are like 5'2" and shorter see me and go, that one. Like,
right.
John,
well,
that one.
With all that said, get over to www.gosolarmasters.com. Go ahead and refer someone you know if you need to get in touch with this giant or to get some solar panels for your home. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That's a network that we're on right now, whether you are watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, whether you're about to lie to us about watching this when we ask you on a date sometime. However you're getting this, thank you for jumping in and being a part of everything that's going on.
Yeah, you're just fucking up batteries.
Oh God, that was like Steve Stone working with Harry Carey, my nigga. Oh, that was incredible, dude. That was incredible. Thanks, Harry. That was a strike outside.
People of Comedy has all. Who got us running late today? Who had us running late today?
Leah Berman from Parental Advisory. Shout out Leah Berman.
Shout out to Leah Berman. Yes, she does.
Parental Advisory.
Mama Berman
is one of our best pods, actually. If you're a parent out there and you wanna get some laughs about how you made a mistake or maybe planned something that happened to you and a kid came out, go to People of Comedy and look up Parental Advisory.
Tell your story.
It's a great show. Yeah. Also, dude, we always need guests for that show. So if you want to tell your story and you're a parent, hit me up. Message People of Comedy page. We'd love to have you on as a guest at Parental Advisory.
That's a great thing especially because we can do things at social distance. You don't have to necessarily be like you don't have to be in studio. So you can be just a good parent with a good story about being a parent and you could be a guest on the show. That's a pretty cool deal. So definitely check that out. Get over to People of Comedy, find out all their shows and see what's going on. What's going on, fellas? How are we doing? We have a special guest in here with us today. We got XL, who is currently getting high, so he's not going to contribute at the moment. But joining us also is Chicago comic Kyle Scanlan. How are you doing, buddy?
Good. How about you guys?
Good, man. Thanks for joining us on the show today. We're happy to have you. We try to get guests on here, and like Friday at 4:00 is the time when everybody is trying to be left alone to get home from work or just be high. So thankfully, you had nothing better going on and joined us. So thanks for jumping on here with us.
I haven't had anything going on for a long time.
That's hilarious, man. So what's been up? Where are you in the world? Are you in Chicago? You downstate? What's going on?
No, I'm downstate at my parents' house. So
Okay.
just,
Okay.
passing out flyers for Trump. Knocking on.
Passing out flyers for Trump.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you to create a background. You look like you're in a hostage. This is like
It's in my dad's
like you. Like you were backpacking. You were backpacking through Afghanistan, and the Taliban took you. And this is your hostage video.
They're gonna cut my head off in 45 minutes.
Or you are in the bunker, and whatever's going on up on the main level is something that you are just not supposed to be getting involved in right now. So you,
I forgot the fucking background.
I'm streaming from below ground. As soon as the war is over, I shall return to the surface. The rebellion is still alive. No, it's a good spot. You can tell it's your dad's office because there's nothing on the walls. It's just like
God,
my man is never thought about
no, it's a shot at men. It's a shot at men.
Himself, you can see.
Yeah, it's a shot at men. I didn't put these things on the mantle back here. They arrived here one day when I woke up. That's all that happened. There's a lady that lives in this house, and she does those things. And that doesn't mean that ladies should always do those things. I'm telling you, I, as a guy, was not going to do those things. Yeah. And a lot of guys, the majority of the men I know won't do those things either. And so that the only reason these things are back here is because someone was kind enough to make me not look like an idiot.
Yeah, dude. Hey, man, I'll be honest with you. I did not understand like what all those Crate and Barrel and all those I didn't get how those stores worked until my best buddy Day, his now wife, but then girlfriend, moved in with. Actually, before she moved in with us, she just took his credit card one time and just bought a bunch of rugs and like little knickknacks like that shit. And I came home from work one day and our place just looked 1,000 times better, like just like one day. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And I was like, if I give her money, will she keep doing this? Like, can we just fucking make the whole place like the control freak in me is so concerned about hanging something up that isn't level that it's easier for me to just not do it at all.
Dudes will literally live in like 4 white walls for like years at a time.
If there's no reason to, like, I'm all about like things that make my role easier. Like if I can get some type of like special carry thing for the bathroom to put all my shit in and like make it like that, I don't mind. But like hanging something for the decoration of it, I struggle with hardcore. I have a bunch of shit I should hang. It's all sitting in my basement right now.
So
do it.
My first apartment in Hyde Park, my first like bachelor pad in Hyde Park, had a big screen TV. I had like a 52-inch television back when they were like still big as houses.
They weren't like TVs? Is this the 52?
It was flat screen, but it was like a full like you had to roll the motherfucker. And I had a really fancy bar that I stocked up with a shit ton of high-end stuff. I had literally that, a nice couch, and a view of the lakefront. That was like, I was like, I'm done decorating. That's it. That's all I need.
This is everything.
Yeah. Like,
we're idiots. I mean, let's be honest.
Lakefront view, fancy bar, big screen TV. Fuck everything else.
That's how it looks on all the music videos too. You see all these music videos and you'll see these, it's some Miami beach house and it's just a white house with nothing in it. It's just all white furniture and shit. And just like, champagne being spilled on everybody. That's the whole deal.
Well, if you had that much champagne to clean up, you wouldn't put a lot of shit around.
Right. Yeah. That's the whole, I mean, someone is going to have to clean it up at some point, right?
And by the way, in just the slim chance that one of my exes or one of my homies watching this, because actually I do have a homie that watches this, will remember that place. It was an obstructed view of the lake. I don't want anybody to think I was stunned too hard. Call me out. It was a view of the lake, but it was an obstructed view.
Like if you go tickets where you're like behind a pillar. I'm going to I can see right field.
Yeah, if you go sit at this one window in the corner and you turn the air conditioning off and sit at a 45-degree angle to the
if you sit in my window, you sat on the couch, like you could see the lake, but it wasn't like it was like 90-degree view of the lake. You didn't have a full 180.
You had a north
building that blocked like half
facing?
of it.
Was it a north facing view?
No, south facing.
Okay, well that's good. South facing.
Yeah. It was a good view. It was a good view. It wasn't like I didn't make enough. I didn't make enough to afford the place that had the unobstructed view.
Kyle, you just bought a place, right?
Yeah.
And you're not there now, though. You're
No. I bought it to pay for it, not to live there.
got it. Yeah. That's that's my thing. Is like I'm like that with everything. I bought a car at the beginning of the year, and obviously, I drove 40,000 miles last year, and this year it's been like mostly sitting in the parking lot. I'm just like, every month I'm just like, I drove to the grocery store 3 times. What am I doing right now? I'm so angry about this, but the mileage is staying low, I guess. So I've got that working.
You're going to spend more on like parking tickets than you will gas.
Yeah, absolutely. What you got going on this past week, XL? What you been up to besides the insanity of the world?
I did a show on Monday, Labor Day, in Rockford that was a little bit tragic. It was a little bit sad because I am rusty.
Sadder than 9/11.
It's close. like a lot of jokes died hard.
3,000.
I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying, perspective, my nigga. Like in that moment, it felt pretty bad.
For you, it was a bad night.
It was a pretty bad night. I was pretty sad. Was that 9/11 sad? No. But
right.
Was it an outdoor show, XL?
Huh?
Was it an outdoor show?
No, and I was lied to about that.
Are you now angrier at Middle Eastern people because of it? Because
it was okay. So the place had a really high ceiling.
A little racist.
It's like one of those bars that had it looked like it had a 2, maybe even 3-story high ceiling. So it had a feel of like we were outside, but we were not outside. Fortunately enough, not enough of a crowd came to make it an issue. So we socially. Yeah. Everybody kept their mask on. Everybody kept their mask on. The 15 people that did come were very into the show. And they let me be sloppy, which was very cool.
Not only am I terrible, but nobody's watching.
I'm disappointed because I tried to just do my regular thing of figuring out before I was going up what I was going to do and just going up there off of my memory. And I did that. I was able to do that because of all the practice. And obviously I have not had any practice. So I got through like the first 2 or 3 bits and then could not remember anything. And I started kind of going back and forth between old shit that I could remember. And it was not pretty. But again, I got laughs and stuff. It wasn't a successful set. It was like coming off the DL and getting a single, but I'm a home run hitter,
That's why they have you. That's why they start them in AA. That's why you're doing 6 people shows right now.
Yeah.
Gotta work those kinks out, man.
Hot dogs every night. Not the same life. Being a comedian and being a minor league baseball player is almost the same.
It's pretty close because there's no money in either of them. There's like you will spend more doing both those things just to participate in them than you will.
Rockford is there's 3 areas that I for whatever reason a lot of people seem to like me, and it's Rockford, Milwaukee, and the Central Valley area of Illinois. I had a lot of good successful shows there, and so I was kind of hoping that the show Labor Day would have been a little more populated, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's so are you sticking with similar material, or do you feel like your comedy's changed at all in the last 6 months? Because I feel a lot of stuff way different.
There's a lot of stuff that I was doing that is very relevant to what's happening right now.
Sure.
My white people slavery bit is a very apropos for the current.
Your jokes that are like involving race are more direct than mine are. Mine tend to like skirt a little more on a subtle edge where it's like, if you're paying attention, you can either be driving with it or feel like you're offended, but a lot of times it just misses, it's just humor and not what I'm, missing what the point is, but you're a little more aggressive. I feel now my jokes are going to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, we're going to see some. We are.
I feel like the ability to kind of get into the topic a little bit easier is more in my wheelhouse than it was before.
So, I feel like. I feel like I'm trying to think. What's the white shooting guard? He used to be with the Sixers.
JJ Redick.
Left flash. Yeah. JJ Redick, okay.
Yeah, we have to remember all the NBA white players.
Right. Yeah.
that's why I threw it out there, baby.
To remember the name of all the white.
We're gonna be talking about some white NBA players. Who should we have on this show? Kyle, obviously.
Man with the Tyler Hero.
JJ Redick's career has been greatly advanced. Kyle Korver's career has been greatly advanced because of the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. And this launching as many threes as possible. Those dudes' career might have still played, but they wouldn't be making the money that they make, and they wouldn't have been as important to teams as they were if just launching as many threes as possible.
I think I get this metaphor.
Right now. Huh?
I think I get this metaphor.
I forgot he was doing a metaphor.
Yeah, welcome to the show. This is it's an 8-minute story that comes off of four. We go into these parts. So it's an 8-minute story with 4 branches, and then at some point we just go. We probably shouldn't have smoked weed before this started. You don't even remember the metaphor. Look at him. He doesn't remember the metaphor.
All I was saying is I feel like Kyle Korver when these niggas start shooting. Like, oh, whoa, my stock's about to go up because like the shit that happened this summer was the material that I was doing. That's where I was going with the metaphor.
There it is. We got there.
I feel like Tyrus Thomas right now in COVID. My ass is about to be overseas.
Maybe go play in China for a little while. That's
I'm the Tyler Hansborough of Chicago comedy. I'm gonna be in China for the next.
A lot of effort, though. A lot of hustle. I do like your. Speaking of hustle, man, you've been with Lincoln Lodge for how long now?
Long enough that I don't know, like 8 years or something.
Okay.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah, I know you guys just were opening the new location when everything happened. What's the word? I mean, we are obviously very deeply invested in Chicago comedy. What's going on there? What's the
we need all the help we can get. So if you go over if you're on social media right now, maybe go over to the Lincoln Lodge page, see how you can help. But I saw a thing that was like on Save Our Stages that was like Save Our Stages is like a good thing to check out too if you're interested in once this is all done, if you're interested in ever going to like a show or a concert. That's a good thing to throw money to. But yeah, I saw a thing that's like a lot of venues aren't going to come back. So.
Yeah. Lincoln Lodge has really kind of persevered, right? I mean, they were, they're at a restaurant on Lincoln and Irving at one point, and have like managed to go through a couple transitions.
This has been the long end goal for years, and then we finally got to shoot our shot, and we just got fucking stuffed so hard, like 8 weeks in.
Yeah. I mean,
there's 3 different comedy clubs that all either opened up or were opening right around when this shit hit. And fuck you guys, CG's and Bolingbrook, and the comedy shrine in Aurora literally built out a whole new facility with 3 stages now. They had 2. They have 3, maybe 4.
They've got a 400 seat room now.
Yeah, they're basically. I believe if I have to compare.
What's that?
They didn't compare to the
comments. I've done a lot of people shows there.
So here's the thing. I think there's going to be some bit of a shift, Kyle. I know why you're laughing, and I think there's going to be some kind of a shift because there's some investors from the mall, that they put some marketing behind it, and people actually know that there's a comedy club there now. Whereas before, there wasn't even a sign that said there was a comedy club. There was signage at the comedy club, but if you drove past the
mall location will help.
We don't just get the overflow from improv anymore for stand-up audience.
Yeah, the mall location will help, and I think if they get an influx of some money, obviously they can bring in some names too, or put some money up for somebody who's like, at a level that fits into a budget that may be more than what they've been getting, along with the people that they're normally bringing in. But like,
I think
crazy how much money will fix your problem.
You can buy credibility. You know what I mean? Like if you can afford to bring in somebody who's $30,000 for a weekend in, and you have a 400-seat theater, you can probably make that money if you have it.
The funny thing,
a lot of you barely make any money on those shows because everybody wants all the door anymore. So these venues are
but if you have a good bar, you can rake on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a process. So we were, I know one of the reasons we were having you on, we were getting to a little bit, we were talking about the NBA and the NBA playoffs. I mean, you're a huge NBA fan. You're one of my favorite people to talk to about the NBA, honestly, especially in comedy.
I'm one of the white voices in the
NBA. Did you guys bring your podcast back?
No, not yet.
Yeah, that's a great basketball story.
Coronavirus for a minute, so we halted.
Wait, what happened?
I said we thought that somebody had coronavirus on our little crew. So
yeah, it's usually time to hold off.
We share enough joints to get scared about it. So,
that is reasonable.
Cannabis and fire kills coronavirus.
If that's true, I'm as safe as I could ever be.
Yeah, I'll never get sick. I'll never ever get sick. It's a full-time job. Bobby, what's that? Oh no, I was going to ask Kyle about the season. I mean, the bubble thing that's come back. We've had our opinions on throughout the show. I mean, it's been a kind of a loosey-goosey defensive situation. I think the defense has kind of been less than great because it's tough to make something like this feel like it's more than a scrimmage. I feel
like they've done a pretty good job though.
It's getting tighter now in the playoffs, right? Like as the little 8-game warm-up shit that they went through, there are some games where it's just like, oh, you guys are just kind of shooting around.
What? I mean, they probably
but I think that's what the 8-game warm-up was supposed to. I think that's what that was supposed to be. To get it in. And the playoffs, the defense always steps up a bit. That's why Giannis had so much fucking trouble, because the Heat were like, nah, nigga, we ain't letting you do all that shit. You're gonna have to shoot threes, pass, and we ain't letting nobody else get open. So that's when you got Jimmy Butler, you can do that. And Adebayo, you can do that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that some people are definitely not treating the end of the season like there's going to be an asterisk behind it.
Like Jimmy Butler,
yeah. What are your thoughts on his play down in Miami, Kyle? I mean, I
love Jimmy so much. I mean, like, I think that Miami team is probably going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I mean, they have the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're probably going to go to the finals. I mean, they look good, man. They're good. Yeah. Jimmy's the best. Like, I wish we had a guy like that on the Bulls, man. That would be sick.
Like Jimmy Butler.
Oh shit, yeah, he did.
That'd be so great if we could have had. It's I think one of the great. There are two great situations that I think that the Bulls are responsible for fumbling in the last few years, and they involve both Rose and Butler in regards to how they dealt with Rose's injury situations and how they dealt with Jimmy down the stretch there. I mean, it just
I don't know. We got Jose Calderon out of that Rose trade. I want to kill myself when I think about that.
Dude, I went to a game last year because they were trying to pitch me on season tickets, and I was just like,
man, they call my phone all the time.
I was just like,
I was at that game with you, right?
No, you didn't show. No, you called me up day of, and you're like, I'm not gonna make it.
That's such an XL move.
It was like a couple hours before the game too, I think. Hey man, you on your way? Oh man, I'm not gonna be on my way. Some shit came up. I'm not gonna be on the way. And it was one of those things where like the Friday before we had to be like, all right, man, I'm gonna set these tickets up. It'll be for next Monday. If you're down, we'll go. What's on the calendar? Anything? Cool. They're gonna pitch us on this bullshit. We ain't gonna take it, but we can go.
Because you have food too with that thing you
Yeah,
went to.
yeah. Then I got there and
like
I looked at the ticket prices and I was like, shit, man, if XL was here, we'd actually be having a conversation about this. I'm not sure if it's good that he's not here or that I'm angry that he didn't show up because I didn't think the pricing was insane, to be honest. Like it wasn't like for a 10 or
how they get you.
package.
I think it's 13 games is the smallest one that you can do.
Something like that. But like if you're willing to not have to sit in the fucking most expensive seats, then it's not crazy.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend a bunch of money with an organization that's been, God, like this last year they made by not showing up, like because you'd go to games and people wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Like that's exactly what I mean. I couldn't stop myself from going, but I'm glad other people did.
Yeah, and that was my issue. Is like I was just like, listen, I don't know. That was before they had Karnasovis, so I was just like, I don't know who the fuck you guys are gonna be next year. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to see more than this to decide to spend this money up front, and then
like spend thousands of dollars to go see a 20-win team.
Like, well, spend a couple $1,000s to then have to try and sell those tickets to games that you don't want to go to and hope that you can get back something close to what you spent.
Well, with doing like if you're a comic though, that's a reality, man. Like,
yeah, you
end up having to get rid of a ton of those tickets.
Yeah, especially when you start working and you're getting gigs and you're just like, oh, I gotta get rid of a bunch of this shit. It's not gonna happen anyway. Yeah, that's the difficulty with season tickets to anything when you have something where like you're trying to get booked all the time on your own shit. It's just hard to plan ahead for a lot of that.
That's why we should give up on comedy and just basketball games.
Yeah,
well, it depends, man. It depends. See what this new GM does.
Yeah, it's the coaching hire is going to be big, especially considering what happened with the Nets and the hiring of Nash. I think sent more than just Stephen A. Smith into a tizzy, right? Like a lot of people are kind of pissed off about that.
Can I ask you guys a question as two black men?
Yeah.
How mad will you get if they hire Chris Mullin as the coach for the Bulls? Another old white guy in the NBA. They hire him.
I would be mad not because he's a white guy. I would be mad because he's already proven to be a bad coach. Like
the coaching part I have an issue with. But I like Chris Mullin so much. Chris Mullin is one of my favorite guys to watch. He was my favorite guys to watch back in the day because like I was also a slow athlete and my game was completely built on trying to my game was completely built like outside of like dribble penetration, my game was completely built off of shaking off screens. Like that was my whole entire basketball career has been like, I need to find a screen to slide off of to get my shot. And that was Chris Mullin all day, just running baselines. That was my move. And so I was like, yeah, big Chris Mullin fan. But he doesn't seem to be able to coach. So like,
but it would be pretty funny.
It would be. They need,
I think.
What were you saying?
He said, I just think it's hard for players to get past why he sounds like he's from Brooklyn. I mean, I don't know if he's from he sounds blacker than any of us. He sounds blacker than anybody on this podcast right now.
That's why Chris Mullin.
Yeah. He'd come to Chicago and they'd be like, you want
to
do the right thing?
I'm not mad at him, but in 2020, can 18-year-olds really get past that shit? The Generation Z see that shit and be okay with that shit, not knowing his backstory.
If you're an 18-year-old from New York, though, you understand that shit.
Yeah, because he's from New York. I see.
Yeah, guys on the East Coast will get that with no problem.
That's true. I used to have a bunch of homeboys in Jersey, white boys in Jersey that smoke Newports and shit.
Dude,
it fucked me up. I was like,
DJ Dirty Harry is a white boy out of New York. That dude used to have the coldest hip hop fucking mixtapes, and he's a white dude for sure. Like,
oh well, yeah. DJ game is always full of like fucking
Yeah, but those guys grew up in the neighborhood too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's always a couple out there running around. Don't be racist, XL.
Yeah, can you not be racist, XL?
I'm not being racist.
You're racist.
I got white friends like that. Shout out to my homie Sean.
That's just a white name. You're just saying a white name.
How's he spell it?
Yeah.
He spells it S-H-A-W-N.
That's not a white guy.
I just said white guy.
S-E-A-N.
I'm not gonna say his last name because I'm not gonna put him all the way out there in the world like that. But I will show you offline. 100% white dude. Grew up with him, man. My guy. Love him like a brother.
His other white friend besides you, Kyle.
I don't like it.
You're a big.
I grew up with him, and he's been around black people for so long that I forget that he's white all the time. Or like he doesn't do anything to make he doesn't do anything to remind me that he's white either. It's like I had to look at him like.
Hey, by the way, XL, I'm white. Did you know that? I just wanted to remind you in case you forgot what I look like.
Damn, I'm gonna send you "I'm white" postcards. Just a reminder. Hey, just a gentle reminder. I'm white.
Just text him every once in a while.
I want a postcard.
Yeah, keep the USPS in service.
Bob, you know who he is? Remember that Chris Rock joke where you say you see a bunch of black dudes and one white dude?
Yeah.
You don't think that white dude's the most dangerous one because you don't know what the fuck that white dude did to hang out with all those black dudes? Yeah. That's Sean.
That's a Chappelle joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chappelle. I said Rock.
Yeah, Chappelle.
That's the white guy on the. I want to correct you about the black comics that you quote.
Actually, sir, I've been doing the research.
I appreciate you.
Well, the importance of Kyle getting it right is way bigger than the importance of you getting it right. You know what I mean? Like, like you can get it wrong and still be black, X. That's a
yeah. Kyle gets it wrong. Oh, this motherfucker thinks.
How dare he?
Yeah,
it figures he would get it wrong.
You will be on your way to black pussy before you know it.
Why do you think he studies so hard?
Yeah. I know. Hey, man, I'm telling you, dog. I'm gonna get you some shades like this, Kyle. And I'm gonna let one of my homies cut your hair and maybe put some lines or some shit in the side.
I used to have that. I used to have steps in my hair.
I believe this 100%.
When I was like 21.
Yeah. Authentic cuts, Naperville. Lonnie Reed, that's my guy. He cuts my hair. He just cut me up. He just blazed me up. Look at my shit. Hey, baby, my shit butter, man. Look at this shit, man. I'm going the wrong way. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Look at that butter, baby. Show the back of it.
That's a Tracy Chapman lineup.
Tracy Chapman. I'm gonna start calling you Fast Car.
Hey, that's what's up, baby. That's what's up, man.
That's hilarious. That's a PM Dawn cut right there. Holy shit.
Hey.
Reminisce, baby. You send me.
Oh man, PM Dawn. I gotta download some of that shit, man. I forgot about them niggas.
You should download it and you should do TikTok videos to it. That's what you should do. You could set a whole career doing 1 minute TikTok videos. Brother, I'm telling you.
I'll be honest with you.
Girl that got Netflix special from her Trump TikToks.
Yeah. She's Sarah Cooper, right? Sarah Cooper. Yeah, she's funny as shit, man.
She's also a funny person.
Yeah, it helps that she's
also funny.
That I was like,
better get on your. I'm telling you, X, you doing TikTok lip sync on TikTok would garner you a shit ton of followers. I'm just telling you right now, especially with the background going and you just sitting there doing that shit. Oh my god, you gotta get a moving background and just play the music, and you just fucking lip sync about a minute's worth of a song, and then have it cut off. And that
you get like an old white lady to dance with you.
Oh my god.
Damn.
You just get a video of an old white lady dancing on the beach and have it play behind you while the music's playing, and you occasionally look up at her. But she's just a video playing in the back.
I'm like refusing to get TikTok. I've been refusing to get TikTok, and like
you should do your 40s.
Listen, man, the Chinese can't do shit to you, man. Look at you. There's nothing. They got nothing for you.
Nah, it'd take like 800 to take you out.
You would decimate their population, brother. Worse than the one-child policy. You would.
Yeah. Now the bad news is they wouldn't let you use any. They wouldn't let you go in any of their stores either.
Right. You couldn't go inside their stores.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to go to the bathroom, you're fine.
I don't think there's any place in Beijing or anywhere in China where I would fit. They don't make doors big enough for somebody like me.
No, that's not made for you. That's not made for you at all, man. You're a LeBron James guy though, Kyle, right? Like that's your individual player that you follow.
Yeah.
Is it the Lakers year this year? Is that what's happening? Is it? I mean,
dude, I mean, it's the bubble. Anything can happen. I honestly think this is going to be the year where like it could be like the Heat could win this year. Like it could be something crazy like that because it's just. You get hot. I mean, like, look at Dame Lillard. I mean, the games he put together. If you get hot, it's.
Well, also like LeBron, although and he gets criticized, and my affinity for Jordan is pretty like known. I appreciate that. But the truth is like LeBron, I think, does get criticized a lot for not being the guy that steps up in big moments, but like. The reason that they even get to those moments half the time is because of the effort he takes to get them there. And it's like, man, yeah, unfortunately he can't always carry them all the way or by that point it's right to actually like give someone else the opportunity. Jordan didn't hit all the game winning shots. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Matter of fact, two of the biggest ones he passed off. Paxson
he had multiple ones, that were just his 55-point game.
I think Horace won too.
Yeah,
didn't Horace hit a big jumper in one of the games too?
I know Luke. Yeah, the Kerr and the Paxson ones are the big ones. The 55-point game against the Knicks when he had first come back off of baseball. Luke Longley. Luke Longley hit the game winner in that one. He had
that was weird that he just wasn't in the last dance whatsoever.
Kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably over in Australia. I remember when Luke Longley, I remember there was it was either during the season or just around playoff time. He got injured because he was body surfing back in Australia while they were on a break. And I was like, so when I didn't see him in the last dance, I was like, yeah, they asked me what you want to do. And he was like, fuck those cunts. And just like, it's like he was probably in Australia. They were probably like, you'd have to come back. And he was like, I'm not coming back to America for that bullshit. And just like, I didn't look it up, but if I had to guess, I'm sure Luke Longley doesn't give a fuck about being in Michael Jordan's fucking last dance. I also think that it's possible he and Jordan may not have had the greatest relationship overall.
Yeah, based on Michael Jordan's relationship with everybody.
Yeah, because they didn't even mention him did that. Like he's not mentioned in it at all.
No,
he is not highlighted in it at all, despite being a major part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a
starting center for I think like 3 of the years.
Yeah. The last three-peat, it was Luke Longley. I was the guy who was the center. It was Bill Cartwright in the first ones, and then Luke Longley in the second set. And Jack Haley, I think, got more screen time than Luke Longley in the last dance. It's an odd thing, but also I also believe that Luke Longley could just been like, I'm not going to be around, so whatever, But there's no footage at all.
Also Luke Longley is Australian, and Michael Jordan talked a lot of shit to people that that was bigger than him, and he might have been like, fuck that guy,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He probably was like,
them niggas wrestle alligators and punch kangaroos. He might have wanted to pop that nigga.
That's very possible. The NFL is back. I don't watch football, so it doesn't really.
You guys watch football, right?
Yeah, I don't watch football.
I'm the only one that watches football.
It's
a great minute of unity yesterday when both teams locked arms with no flag in sight and no kneeling. Like apparently,
right.
exactly what white people who look like me have been saying they want.
Right,
and then they booed them for a full minute on unity.
I watched that clip because nobody had to bang their heads together during that, except for me when I watched it. And so it's all the players from the team, right? Like the black guys, the white guys, all the other races of guys who might be out there at the time, all the coaches, they're all standing together facing the crowd of a diminished amount of people because of the very idiotic shit that's run of the place in the first place, and then they booed him,
Yeah. So apparently Trump is going to win Missouri.
Also, check your phone real quick. I just sent you a meme that only you can describe on the
internet. It's for me, as someone who is kind of seeing this in football for a while, it's not odd to me because I used to go to football games a bunch when I was younger. I used to go to football parties and hang out with people. And, while there are plenty of people who are progressive or liberal minded or left leaning who like football, it is also a game that is largely dominated by this like uber right wing, very Christian style of like competitive athlete, like this very alpha male-ish, like,
Well,
football culture.
Texas are football farms.
Yeah.
Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, and those are all areas that are
Nebraska.
Like Pennsylvania outside of Philadelphia is pretty conservative.
Yeah. And so like, there's this and the coaching style, and football is a game that also is like comparable to war in the way that like the back and forth of the action is, right? And so it also like is attractive to people, right? Like if you're someone who likes that concept or you don't want to go to war, but you want to feel like you go to war, like this is one of these things. And as a judgment of manliness, it is also this thing where it's like, this is the most contact of a team sport that you can get into. There is no other team contact sport you can play in this country that's like this in regards to how often you can pound each other. So you want to be
physical it is.
You want to prove you're a man, go play football, right? Like that's the thing. But like the result of that is like an overwhelming amount of players who end up with brain damage that leads them to
being Larry Johnson online.
Yeah. Or Ray Caruth, or you know what I mean? Like
OJ Simpson,
like
Brian Urlacher.
You name it. Yeah, Brian Urlacher,
yeah.
for sure. Or,
Ditka.
Or Junior Seau. Or Junior Seau. Or Dave Duerson. You know what I mean? Guys who shot themselves in the chest so that you could observe their brains.
Is that the guy, the linebacker on the Chiefs?
Junior Seau?
No, not Junior Seau. The guy you just mentioned right after.
Yeah.
Dave Duerson?
Yeah.
He killed himself at the practice facility?
I'm just
talking about a different guy
another guy. Yeah, there's another guy. Yeah.
Practice facility.
Yeah. He did
just making sure that I had it right.
Yeah, I have a whole
you said for the Chiefs. I was thinking for the Chargers.
I had a whole bit about the whole idea of like football players doing crazy shit is not surprising to me, because like if you worked at like a steel factory and like a few times a week you banged your head on a steel beam, and I saw you do this as your coworker, and occasionally you got knocked out, like 3-4 times a year you banged your head on a steel beam so hard you got knocked out, and then like 7 years in you just attacked Linda, the secretary at the Christmas party. Like people might think you were crazy, and I'd be like, no, this dude's been banging his head on shit for like 8 years. Of course he's out of his mind. Like rash decisions should be on that guy,
Bobby, I lived in a basement apartment for 2 years, and I hit my head so many times I felt like an NFL player. Like I was
I mean, it's and it's been, a lot of these guys have been playing since they were kids. They've been playing tackle football since they were kids, which means that's trauma that's been going on for a long time. And then on top of that, you then have a sport in which there's this high percentage of fans and fellow athletes who, if you're black, don't really want you to do anything but the athletic part of the thing. And so, like, as evidenced by the fact that even when they go try and stand together for a moment of unity, these people came out and booed them. So it's like, who are you performing for at the end of the day?
I don't know. To me, I like football. I'm the only one that likes football. Football is my reality TV. I know it's bad for my brain. I know it's bad for their brain.
Right.
But I like it, so I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I get it. And that's the thing is, like, I do love the sport. Like, I love football. Like the idea of what's going on, that bit of it, not because it makes me feel manly to be able to play it or said I've played it, but like what it takes to be good. Like an amazing play in football is amazing. It's not like there's not talent going on there. Like a guy who can throw a ball 60 yards and have it land like right in the arms of somebody, or like all that shit is great. If they could figure out a way to do it where like 98% of the people didn't have brain damage after they were done playing, that would also be great.
Yeah. So my grandpa actually like played football in the 40s for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And he was like he played like offensive line and defensive line, and he died at like 56, and he had Alzheimer's for like the last 10 years, and it was 100% because of football.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like in the 40s when they wore like leather helmets. So I mean, like, whew.
Yeah.
I quit. I played 1 year at University of Louisville, and I quit because I was a asshole. And they did not give a fuck about me going to school. But I bring it up to say I thank God now when I look back that I did, because I 100% would be a dude that took a shit ton. Like my job they were moving me inside from outside, and if I played like nose tackles, your job is just to get hit in the fucking head by guards and centers and take a beating so linebackers and shit can get free. Like that's literally your job every fucking play. I would just get clubbed by 350-pound white dudes.
Yeah.
who like have a VIP pass at the McDonald's near their house.
Yeah. They're just dude. Where I went to college for basketball, St. Joe's, our football team was pretty decent for D2. And we used to have like these play fights where like the basketball team and football team would like kind of just joke like we were fighting. It wasn't no serious punches, just kind of mess around like
I'm sure that never got the cops called on you.
And
black dudes fighting each other.
All the black basketball players,
bunch of giants.
All the black basketball players lived in the football dorm because most of the football team was black. And anyway, when we would fight like the running backs and the linebackers, we were all tall and pretty much. I was 250 when I played basketball. I was still as bigger than the motherfuckers. And so, like when I came through, they called the hogs, and you just see giant white dudes just come running out of their fucking dorm rooms. And they literally
feeding troughs, XL. They're called feeding troughs.
They literally pick me up like nothing. Like just pick me up and throw me like I was a 5'1", 100-pound girl. Like, and they throw me up like they just carry me around and throw me like it was no big deal. Like that was them ending the fight.
Yeah, I know those guys very well. Those kind of guys are like the exact guys that like they only bench press. They don't do any other workout.
Yeah. There's no other workout.
Their workout playlist is the reason why Linkin Park has stayed so like successful.
Hey man, those dudes, they were good. I mean, like our team was decent. So they were probably just they were just big, strong fucking dudes, man.
It
was the only time in my life that I ever have been picked up. That's why that story was like so hilarious to me. Only time in my life, like if you're watching the show, you don't know I'm 6'7", lots of pounds, a lot, well over.
Can we do a weigh-in one episode?
We got to do a weigh-in episode.
Well over 300. I'm a very, very big person. If you're watching the show out there, you don't know who the fuck how big I am. So to be picked up and tossed
That's
around.
That's his baby photo in the background, by
the way. Is insane. When I was 250, 260 in there. What the fuck did you just say?
Your baby photo in the background.
You know what? Because you're only 44% black, I feel like that was racist.
I'm not the one who goes around calling myself gorilla, okay? That's
you notice I didn't make that joke.
Right, yeah.
I set that shit out.
Oh, I've been emboldened, okay, by the fact that I could also be murdered out in these streets. I have been emboldened.
You know how women posted, they say it's a thirst trap.
Yeah.
They're like that. This is a racist trap.
Yeah, right. It's like I dare you, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a racist trap. Go ahead, say it.
It'll come.
Hey, we're filming this on Friday. It is September 11th. We were all old enough to be around then. I mean, where were we all? Were we all adults by then? We all.
I graduated college a year and a half before that, and I literally just come home from playing basketball overseas, and I was working as a broker for a company called Capital Mortgage Services and Financial. And
Any more
kicked
details
in.
you can add?
Where in the office? Where in the office did you sit?
No.
What was
No,
your
it's
favorite
crazy. It's crazy. My grandfather was supposed to have surgery that day, and I took the day off, so I didn't go into work that day. I was at home.
Raise a little suspicion.
Where were you?
Where were you, XL? I'm gonna
coordinating things from my bedroom.
The only reason why it's significant
room with
is
two plane airplanes.
Back then I would not listen to the radio or turn on the TV in the morning when I got up because I you know how I am. I'm always running late. That shit would distract me. So
right.
I would not turn anything on if I had to go into the office. But because I wasn't going into the office, I was driving back into the burbs to go to my grandfather's surgery. I turned on the TV, I turned on the radio, and then the radio was talking about it, and I turned on the TV, and I turned on the TV. It was right as the second plane, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes before the second plane hit. Like I was seeing the first building smoking and not understanding what I was watching. I thought it was a movie until I changed the channel, and like 2 or 3 different channels had the same shit on.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Channel TNT? What is this?
Literally, I thought it was like a disaster movie.
I was waiting to see Schwarzenegger step out from a building or something.
Yes, that's 100% what I thought. That's what I thought I was experiencing. And then right as I realized what they were saying, that a plane ran into the building, I was like, oh shit. And as I realized that, the second plane hit, and then I freaked the fuck out. I woke my roommate up. I called my boss, who was on a plane to Detroit because our number one bank was in Michigan, and he was going up there, and he was supposed to be flying up there. And I called him like 1,000 times. He wouldn't fucking answer. And he was like a little short asshole. And when he finally answered, he screamed at me like, what the fuck? You know I'm not in the office. What the fuck could you possibly want? And I just screamed, get the fuck off the plane. I don't know what's going on, but get the fuck off the plane. And he goes, why? Why are you saying that? We've been sitting here. We're supposed to be in the air already. What's going on? And I told him what the fuck was happening. And then he's like, you're not kidding. This is not a joke. And I was like, dude, you've been sitting there for an hour for a reason. That you're not taking off. That's good. But get the fuck off the plane as soon as you can. Something crazy is happening. I didn't even know it was terrorism. I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Nobody knew what it was for a while.
Yeah, I don't even think it was. I mean,
people still argue about what it was.
Yet. I don't even think the other 2 planes had hit yet.
Yeah.
I just remember Jeff was on a plane. I just remember he was flying to Detroit that morning because he was bragging about that it was like an hour flight, and it was how cool it was. Like, look, yeah, I'm not driving that shit. I fucking fly. He was making jokes about it and shit.
He ended up driving probably.
And yeah. And I'm just like, get the fuck off the plane. And which was kind of weird because he was like, I had only been working there for like a couple months. But
Cal, were you an adult?
No, I was in 11th grade. I was in shop
nice.
class.
Yeah. You were in shop class?
Yeah.
Did you guys, I mean, you were downstate, so did you guys stay in school, or were you just like
we in school and we watched it on those like tiny TVs? Like we had a teacher. It was like movie day.
They're like, nobody's gonna fly any planes here. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll probably be all right.
It's kind of like, well, I don't think they're gonna come for here. Like, or are they gonna take our Dairy Queen?
Someone crashes a remote control plane into your town. It's just like fucking like, well, a plane's like this big. It's just a little. The size of the plane based on the location.
They run 2 planes into the Hardee's and the Dairy Queen. They're like, we got him actually.
Whole town's done. Did it? I was waking up at my she was my girlfriend at the time, but she was my now ex-wife. I was at her apartment.
2 9/11s then.
Yeah, 2 9/11s going on. I woke up at her place. I was getting ready to return to my job working for Lober Motors. I had left there for a few months. They hired me back to be a manager, and I was going to work at their downtown location. I was going back to the downtown location. It was on the Today Show. I remember I was in the bathroom getting ready, and I was watching it out of the mirror, and I could see it. I saw the first one hit, and I was like, originally everybody was just like, oh, somebody fucked up. Yeah. A plane flew into a building. That's messed up. And then it was like when the second one hit that everybody was like, oh, this isn't just somebody just fucked some shit up. Like it's like insanity is happening. Yeah. And then like I had to go into work because it was my first day going back to this place. And so like, and nothing. And this was like, I'm in Chicago. This is New York. Like, what am I going to say? Like, I'm not coming in because like something happened states away, right? And so I went in and like we were sitting there watching it on the TVs at work, and I knew everybody there because I'd worked there already before, and we were sitting there watching it, and then we were like waiting and wondering what's going on. We were wondering if it's a car dealership, so you're like, do people come by cars on days of national treasure? Who knows? But like as we were sitting there, we could see when they sent everybody down, when they realized it was a potential terrorist threat, and they sent everybody home because the streets just became flooded with people because we were right near downtown. And so like you just all of a sudden it just was like a rain of people that were just cutting down the street. Everybody was evacuating the downtown area essentially. We stayed open all day. There were like 3 sales. It was pretty crazy.
You guys still made sales?
I want to interview the 3 people that bought cars on that day.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my God, I really do, man.
Babe, I know it's a terrible thing that happened, but I want a new Ford Explorer.
Yeah, never forget that was the day I bought my Volkswagen Jetta.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah.
That happened. 9/11, Jay-Z dropped Blueprint.
Just see that and have your credit ran like an hour later. Well, you're like, yeah, run my credit.
So you're approved for this lease. You've done it. congratulations. You're like, wow. Yeah, fuck yeah.
God.
Damn. Kyle, I gotta admit, you saying that people down where you were at were all like, well, they're not gonna come here. I'm actually somewhat impressed by that because everybody up where I was at, including where I'm at now, like at that time I lived like right next. I could see the home plate entrance of Wrigley Field. That's where my apartment was at the time.
Yeah.
And we thought we thought Wrigley Field was a target. Our office was downtown, like 4 or 5 blocks away from the Sears Tower. We were like, the Sears Tower is definitely a fucking target.
That was a big thing when that first happened. They were just like, get everybody out of the Sears Tower now.
And Aurora has the world's busiest air traffic control center. And so we were like, that's a target. They're gonna hit that. They're hitting. They're trying to take out infrastructure. They're gonna hit that.
So what was wild is my boss at the time, the guy who I came back to work for, who is a good friend of mine, is Palestinian, and his name is not an American name either. Like he's a Palestinian with a Palestinian name. And like after that ended, one of the reasons we were friends is we liked similar cars, and we had been going on the spree of like we were buying Chevy Impala SSs, like 94 to 96s, and like tune them up a little bit, add some stuff to them, and then like reselling them. And so we were in the process of trying to buy one, and he couldn't get money out of the bank. He was trying to take out like 15 grand, and like it was maybe a month later, and like his bank would not let him take out 15 grand. He had to like wait for like days before he could pull the money out. And it was like, and he was like, everybody at my church or whatever, I forget at his mosque was going through the same thing. He was like, there's stories of like, if your name is not Americanized on your docs when you're going to pull money, if you pull out anything over whatever, some certain amount, like it just wasn't happening. It was a mess, man. And then this is a dude who was like, married to a Mexican woman living in Elmwood Park. Like,
but I'm sure every time I've gone to the airport since then has been totally chill.
It's been great. Yeah, it's been an easy, simple move for him. You know what I mean? Like, super Americanized guy, like wants to be nothing more than Americanized, right? He's like, yeah, I lived in Palestine when I was like 11 or 12, and like they were firing rocks. They were firing like missiles and shit at us, and we had rocks. So like, I'm super happy to be here. So like,
I had a smartphone then back then, not because I was cool, because a woman that I knew.
Oh, it's because you were cool.
You were.
I knew made a lot more money than me. Bought one, didn't like it, and just like gave it to me. Like, here, poor kid, take one.
Right.
Was that your version of The Blind Side?
Yes, there it is. There it is. And my friend Hags loved putting. I used to put messages on it like, I don't know, Excel's a pimp, some goofy shit, whatever. Because I was a broker, and that's the dumb shit we used to do. Well, he used to like put stuff on there like Excel is a sucker or whatever. So one time, to fuck with him, because I knew that he'd always go on there and change the message, I put on "I hate white people." So when he went to look at it, he'd see it and whatever.
Seeing a pattern here.
And so one time, like, this was, I can't remember how far this was after 9/11, but it was enough that flying had gotten back to somewhat normal. People were going to the airport it was still.
I went to Vegas that November. It was cheap, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was still more. It was still high security, but people were going, like the airports were full.
Yeah.
And right as he takes me to the airport, and right as we're getting out, this is before I converted from Islam to Judaism. He grabs my phone, and I'm like, "Hey man, not now with this fucking shit playing with my phone." He goes, "Dude, I don't think a 6'7" Muslim should have 'I hate white people' on his phone right now." He's like, "I'm gonna delete this for you." And I was like, "Oh God, thank you."
Might be a good idea.
That's a good call.
It's been 19 years. Do you guys feel it all like? I mean, obviously, we're living in a pandemic now that's taken almost 200,000 Americans. And it's not brown guys flying, planes into buildings, but it's also something that could have been kept at a number lower than where it is right now. Does that take away from your feelings about about 9/11? I mean, does it reduce the luster a little bit for you?
I don't know if it takes away from my feelings, but I think it's very odd that everyone who gives it, like, who really is like, do not make jokes about 9/11, do not like do this, are the same people who are like, fuck this pandemic and let everybody. Let me go eat fried bologna sandwiches and kill everybody's grandma. Like,
oddly the same people.
It's so weird. That's the part that trips me out more than anything.
Right. That they're the same people?
That it's the same people. The same people telling me, like, respect these people's lives that are lost. And I'm like, what about all these guys?
Right.
At one point, for an extended period of time, we were having a 9/11 every week. Of Americans dying for quite a while this summer.
It's still pretty close. We still are losing a good amount every day.
Not to minimize, I don't mean to minimize 1,000 people a day dying, but it was I think at the highest somewhere around 4,000 or 5,000 people a week, maybe even 6. I'm not sure. Somebody online, you want to check me on that? That's fine. I don't care about the accuracy. I know it was over 5. 1,000 people a week dying.
The number of 9/11s that COVID has brought us to is 64 9/11s.
64 9/11s
have died of COVID-19. Yeah.
Even if those numbers are half off, even if the CDC had been magically lying to the extent of 50%, that's still 32 9/11s, by the way.
Yeah. I saw, I believe it was CNN. They were interviewing people at the Trump rally last night that didn't have masks on and shit. And they were asking them why they didn't. And a couple of them said they thought it was fake. And one guy said, the CDC changed their number from 190,000 to 10,000 because those other people had other things that they died from and they happen to have COVID. And it was like, hey, dumbass. That's how it works. You get COVID and the other shit you have, it kills you because you had the other shit. Like, that's the whole point.
COVID puts your immune system at a place where it can't fight off anything else. So it's easier to get shit and die from whatever any other shit you have that's just been laying around waiting to kill you. It's super fun. Well, Trump, that's what the big thing that came out this week with Trump is that aside from the fact that early in the week he got the story came out that he had called military people in the military suckers and losers and people who died in the military losers, which is bad enough on its own.
Do you agree? Do you believe? I 100% believe that he did that.
Yeah, there's no.
Oh yeah,
that's like right
he's basically said that shit. He's basically there's like.
It's not foreign.
No one's done a supercut yet of all the shit that he's been recorded, either saying or that was attributed to him before this already. That goes right along with that.
If you got 5 deferments, to not have to serve in the military, like even if you don't say it, isn't that what you're saying?
his niece has a story in her book, and this was out way before this shit came out, saying that he was going to disown his oldest son who tried to join the military after 9/11, told him if he joined the military that he'd disown him immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's not foreign that or strange that like there are wealthy people that understand that the military is for people that don't have other financial options to try and pay for their future. Like that is a very clear message being sent by the military is very open about the fact that it's down to try and pay for your college. The GI Bill is a thing that keeps a lot of people going into the military because
however,
any other way.
Quite a few billionaire families who, for one reason or another, because their family did a legacy or whatever, still the Kennedys still send people to the military.
How often do they end up on the front line in actual battle?
Yeah, they're not gonna. That's true.
My friends that didn't have any options and had to go because that was the only way they could pay for the college. They got front line, and guess what? Whenever they got back, they were pretty fucked up, and the VA sucks.
Yeah, there. Because there's enough positions for advancement happens outside of people who are in inner circles. But for sure, the people who have connections get looked at for advance.
I'm not saying it's the same thing. I just wanted to say that I'm acknowledging that they serve. They at least they put themselves at risk. Bo Biden was in combat.
Yeah, I mean,
and the cancer that there's some suggesting that the cancer that he got was because the base that he was on. Apparently, there was a large cancer cell cluster. That's on that cell cluster.
I think that's more of a note to the way that someone like Joe Biden might look at the concept of actual service. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm left of where Biden is, admittedly, but like I do believe that he is a person who has this thing of like this inner thing about service being a big part of what goes on, and like despite understanding all that, the fact like he believes in that as a dutiful thing to do as a person, regardless of whatever you think about any policy the guy ever has. I think that is part of the principle of who that guy is. And I'm sure that's a thing he's probably passed on to his kids in ways that are probably, that have led to pluses and minuses, I'm sure. But like, that seems like who that guy is, regardless of what you think of any of where he stands on healthcare,
Yeah. Dude, what's crazy is Trump keeps trying to label him as corrupt. Everything that Trump is saying about Biden is shit that he's just projecting shit that he's done. And
it's like a girl that's already cheated on you, and she's like going through your phone looking for like.
Exactly.
Honestly, the last couple of press
I just got real personal right now.
Stop. You need to put a Face ID lock on your phone, Kyle, and then
tell us about Charlotte, Kyle.
Then when you get asked to open it up,
I'm dating girls named Charlotte.
Then when you get asked to open it up, just be like, I don't have that face with me right now.
Kyle, I'm not going to blow up your spot, but I literally had to do like a brain scramble to think of a woman's name that wasn't that you dated.
That's fair.
How could I choose an inoffensive name to a woman who probably never watched this show? But would
like woman, Victoria.
My girl's name.
Charlotte.
They've all been dated.
I wasn't even sure when you replied. I thought, oh fuck, he did date.
Probably a Charlotte in here somewhere. Yeah, Trump's press briefings have been super different ever since this whole Woodward tape shit came out. Like, it's been very like not defending that and talking about a bunch of other shit. He's not.
Yeah.
He's
This
not talking about that at all.
If it was so bad, why did Bob tell you when I said it? Nigga, that's not Bob. Bob's not the motherfucking president. Bob's trying to make some money off your dumbass, man. Like shit, Bob would have released this shit sooner. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he did have to do some backup to see what this motherfucker knew or whatever. I have no idea. But the fact that he said that shit in February to him, I do actually feel a way about that. Yeah, he said that shit in February to him.
This dude had to get up every morning. This guy got up in May and in June when these numbers were out of control, and like made breakfast and like had this tape of the president saying this is worse than the flu, and the reality of knowing that the president said different shit in public.
Let me ask you this:
and was like,
I don't know his process. Is there a chance that he made those tapes and didn't listen to him because he was still compiling the tapes, and maybe he like made those tapes and made notes or whatever like that, but he's compiling shit. This shit keeps getting crazier and crazier. He doesn't go back and look at the tapes until he's like ready to put the shit together, and he's like,
are you talking about him or America? Because that's how I feel that we are, and looking at, because it's just like,
no, I'm saying maybe that was just maybe he didn't realize he had that shit on February 7th until like August.
I find the same problem with that I do with the fact that we have not booted this dude out yet. And that is like the fact that he didn't recall this man playing, explaining how big it is and that he was going to downplay it. And then seeing those numbers rise, not being like, didn't this motherfucker say some crazy shit about like downplaying it? And like, we're at like 60,000 deaths, 70,000 deaths. And he's just like, I think maybe I have a tape on this somewhere.
Okay, fair enough. You're right.
My other phone.
Do you think he said, was it, did he say downplay or did he say I was going to tell him the exact truth about what happened? Like, I just don't find Bob Woodward, the guy who is like, essentially one of the godfathers of modern journalism, like casually forgetting that he heard the words being said. And
you're right.
Opposition, like my friend's parents dying. You know what I mean? Like, like my friend's parents are dying. I have friends who have heart murmurs who aren't 35 years old yet forever. Like, who should be taking responsibility for knowing that someone is lying to the public on purpose and then like not doing anything about it? Like, hang them all. Right? Like we got enough rope to hang on both of them.
Yeah, I feel like this is almost like an international tribunal needs to arrest this motherfucker. Like literally when he stops being president on January 21st, Europe needs to come and be like, hey, we understand where y'all can't do this.
Yeah, we need to. Hi, we're Geneva. We need to pick him up.
You know how like sometimes in the movie, like the guy has to kill one of his guys, but he can't do it, so he has somebody else do it for him. You know, like the European Union and the UK, like, hey, don't worry, we understand. Go take
Cal, you gotten awfully quiet about Trump. Is it because the people are listening outside your door?
Yeah, it's because he's outside.
The whole town of the whole southern part of Illinois is currently outside of the office. Just they heard Trump and immediately jumped in there. Yeah. I heard Trump. Come on down.
Hey man,
I've right now got 7 different guns pointed at me.
I had an experience down where he's at right now, September before the November election that he won. Kyle had a show down there, and I'd gone down there a couple times before, and I had some fun. This was like my 4th time down there, I think.
Yeah. That's 4 different times we had black people in our town.
But I'd been down there enough that there were people who were like, "Hey, there's XL," you know.
Yeah, they didn't immediately go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and
you're the one we've allowed in.
yeah, basically. And I remember Kyle had this really fucking great game called Kanye or Trump. And it was just quotes of Kanye West and Trump. and we did, because we didn't. I don't think we did straight stand up, but we did like maybe just 10-minute sets or something, and then we did kind of like a Lincoln Lodge,
a game show.
Kind of a Lincoln Lodge.
An hour and a half, you're gonna do a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah,
not a Lincoln Lodge. Excuse me,
whatever.
Whiskey Journal.
You won't get there.
A Whiskey Journal. It's your shit. I thought you were gonna jump in.
For those of you watching who are big Whiskey Journal fans, he's referencing.
Where
Whiskey
were you
Journal.
40 years ago?
We're sure you know.
Whiskey Journal was 40 years ago. Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, everybody got him wrong. Everybody thought the things that Trump said were Kanye shit, and Kanye shits were Trump shits. And we were cracking up on stage, and they were laughing until the end, and then they got mad because they were all voting for Trump.
I made people, if they lost the game, I made them promise me they wouldn't vote for Trump.
It was.
We gotta get back and play this game again. That's what's gotta happen.
And I think I asked, like towards the end of that, I was going, wait a minute. Are you guys all voting for Trump? And it was like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit.
Uh-oh. Well, I gotta go. Sorry.
Yeah. I was
Start the car.
I had that, and I had a show in Indiana where I had a joke about Hillary Clinton being president, me telling my niece Hillary Clinton was going to be president. And nobody laughed when because the joke was more about me lying to my
gotta read the room
than Hillary, right? But because I said Hillary, like they were all uptight, and it was only like 4 or 5. It was like 70 people in this tight little thing, and like 5 people laughed. And I was like, wait, are you did not laughing because of Hillary? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, wait. You guys like Hillary, and these 5 women started to clap, but it was like a woo.
You're in Indiana, and you're
got quiet real fast. Yeah, Portage. It was in Portage, fucking Indiana,
brother.
That was in. I want to say that was in October before the election.
You got to release. You got to scout your locations before you go, man. You got to go on Wikipedia and be like, "Where's
like a year before Trump."
I do that shit. I look up a location and be like, "What? Who the fuck are the people in this town?"
In 2014 and early 2015, before Trump became a candidate, and I was in Portage, Indiana. I was fire. The motherfuckers would have loved me, man. Like after Trump became a candidate, a lot of those places were not as friendly to me.
I want to talk about this as we're getting closed out. There's a new show on Hulu that just launched a couple days ago. It's called Woke. It is written, I think, by or created by a guy named Keith Knight, who is a cartoonist, and it's it kind of spears off of an experience that he had. Lamorne Morris is in there. He's the star. You know him from New Girl.
I think he writes a bit on it too.
Yeah, I'm sure he writes on there as well. There's a whole team of great writers on there, but also a comic from Chicago by the name of T. Murph is also on that show playing Clovis. And I've watched the first couple episodes. I don't know how many episodes you guys are into it.
I'm in 3, I think. 3 episodes.
You've watched it all. Look at you binging, of course. So I'm telling you, he's got to get his homework in. You know what I mean? He's just got to make sure if he's out somewhere and there's a conversation going on.
I was excited for Murph.
Yeah, that's your boy. You've known Murph since college, so that's a big deal.
So here's the thing. I was super excited for Murph too, man. Like I was plugging this shit. I was like mad plug. I was plugging this shit on all my pages and all that stuff. Here's the thing. I was plugging it because that's my guy.
Yeah.
I was like, just show him love. I was like, I watched that shit when I watched that shit because it was on Hulu and I wasn't doing shit. And I was like, you know what? Let's check it out. Because I didn't expect it to actually be great.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm not shitting on him. This is like a lot of stuff isn't as good as, whatever. I was like, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what my boy doing. And that shit was great. It was really good. I was so excited. Really, I was so happy. That was so good.
It is a thing though, because it's like when you're trying to exercise and your body's making subtle changes, but you don't see it because you look at yourself in the mirror every day. And like That's what it is. You have friends who you see at open mics just trying shit all the time. And even sometimes you see them at a show, at a big show somewhere, and you're seeing the bits that they were trying and they work in a big room. You're like, oh, fuck, that is actually really good. And then you see that with your friends and they start getting bigger opportunities, or even when you get some bigger opportunities, you see yourself on a different location or a different situation. You're like, oh, wow, that is a thing that can also be good with someone I watched like doing reps at an open mic. You know what I mean? Like, this is an open mic guy who's now on a show that, I mean, he took over Hulu's Instagram the other day. This guy is, he's in the New York Times, man.
Oh, yeah, he's killing.
It's so great. I'm so happy for him.
My questioning how good it was going to be was not based on him. It was just based on that they wrote woke before the summer. This shit was written well before that. And I was like, this shit's probably gonna come across soft now because some shit has changed. And nah, man, this shit was like
right on time.
That was some inspiration. Like when motherfucker says some shit was inspired, that's some inspired shit because it's right on point. Like that's why I see dude. When I clicked on Hulu to turn to watch it, it was the first thing that popped up. Like I was like, oh yeah, putting their money behind this joint.
They're pimping it hard, man. They gave T Murph their Instagram. They was running their whole Instagram stories for a couple hours the other night. I mean,
that's super dope. Man.
It's on right now. It's great. It's great. So shout out to Chicago Talent. Also, if you haven't caught it, Alex Drakovich has a sketch that he has on his website. I don't know if James, you have that somewhere that people can find it. Where's a good link that people can go to check it out, because it's a hilarious short that he shot with a couple of Chicago comics. Tim Smith and Carly Kane. Have you seen it? You saw it, Kyle?
I saw it, yeah.
I think it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But that's I'm excited for that, man. It's big with some of the stuff that we've been working on to see that happen in Chicago. It's pretty cool. When are you coming back up north, Kyle?
Next week. I'll be there like Tuesday.
Okay. You gonna stick around for a little while, or are you
Yeah, I'll be here. I gotta start actually doing some work for comedy instead of just fucking off for 3 months. So
yeah, how are you approaching shows? Are you doing?
I did like a weekend of outdoor shows and it was all right. I'm supposed to do one next Friday, so we'll report back.
Did you do any Zoom stuff at all, or did you?
No, not for me. Not for me. I can't even get like an audience on Instagram. So fuck a Zoom show. I'm not doing it. I know that's not what our approach is supposed to be, but I don't want to do it, so I'm not gonna. I
felt kind of odd about the idea of doing it. I haven't done any of them. It didn't feel like it's a type of practice I wanted to get. Although I don't fault anybody for trying to figure out a way to make it happen. Like,
let me say this: I did a spoken word show. It's not like a straight up comedy show. It's like not spoken word. I should say a storytelling show. And I had a good experience with that. There was no feedback from the audience. I turned the bit about my son being born white into more of a story and less of a joke, less jokes.
All those lines were getting in the way.
Fuck off. Anyway, and I did a game show last week, and Bobby and I will be doing on the 21st of this month called Code Word.
White or black?
It's called it's called Code Word.
Black friend, yes or no?
It's super dope.
Oh, I'm on your phone.
God damn it! I'm trying to do. All right, is this what you feel like when you're doing the promos at the beginning?
Now you got it.
This is what you feel like? Okay, I'll fight through it. It's a super dope game show called Code Word, and shout out to Canada, and it'll be me and Bobby versus 2 other comics, probably some Canadian guys. And
I'm down to
lost the first round and then dominated the rest of the game last time we played.
Probably some D-gens from up north.
Yeah, Bobby, you're a white bouncer. Let me know.
It's all it is about is Bobby. All the game is about is understanding how the other person thinks.
Oh, we'll be great at this.
Yeah. That's why I think we're gonna kill it.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have any issue.
The Newlyweds game.
Which I mean, X and I are probably.
Yeah, but think about it like that. But if not guessing like what's his favorite beer or something like that. But if there's a list of
what's his favorite sexual position,
if there's a list of words that Bobby had to tell me,
he's real big on Calgary.
Guess these words, but do not guess these other words. He has to figure out how to tell me that without saying those words. Yeah. We'll be able to do it.
Done. Do you have that? Do you have a link for people to go to, James? Is there a thing for that, or should they just go to People of Comedy and find it there? You're gonna post it. Okay, People of Comedy will share it. We gotta let these people get out of here. We've been bugging them too much for their dumb shit today. So, hey, Cal, where can people follow you, find you? You gotta get your Instagram up.
At Kyle Scanlan on everything. A podcast called Basketball Stories. We should be returning.
It's a great podcast too.
And then me and Derek Smith are working on a little something too that we should have out in the next month. So
nice. And then go to Lincoln Lodge 2 and support them over there.
Yeah. Please throw them some cash if you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
XL, where can they find you, buddy?
At XL Comedy on IG, Facebook, and Twitter, and on Twitch. And
on Twitch
swallow
too.
your food before you finish promo.
Hey, he's on Twitch too. He knows what part of the show we're in too. You know, it's
I don't think he knows what show he's on right now.
You can find me at mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. It's bobbyhill.com is the website. You can find our show at New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We put up a bunch of great stuff. Find us on YouTube at the New OGs. Go to People of Comedy at People of Comedy and at People of Comedy Network. Follow them, find their shows, watch them. They got live stuff everywhere. We'll be back here next week. Hopefully it's not as crazy as this one was. We are tired as shit. That's it. We're out of here. That's what's up.
Okay, for the record, I thought Kyle was going to take longer to give his credentials.
Yeah, that's usually how I roll. I want to throw out a bunch of stuff there.
Changed since we came up. They can try to steal the moves, but they ain't us. Thank you, gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us. Whole lot of niggas changed since we